On June 25, 2025, a lawsuit was filed by an injured Columbus police officer against the Whitehall Police Department, stemming from an incident that occurred on July 6, 2023, where Whitehall police detectives followed armed robbery suspects into the city of Columbus, watched the suspects commit an armed robbery at a bank, then allowed the suspects to escape and eventually shoot the officer who filed the lawsuit. In this video, I will walk you through the events of that day step by step to show you what happened. By the end of the video, it will be crystal clear that the Whitehall Police Department acted recklessly and with stunning incompetence, allowing the suspects to escape and nearly kill a young police officer whose injuries were so severe that 2 years later, he is still in and out of the hospital. On July 6, 2023, at approximately 2:13 p.m., the three suspects entered the Buyers Import car dealership in Whitehall, Ohio, and committed a takeover-style armed robbery where they secured their transportation, a Porsche Cayenne. An employee with the dealership called 911, and Whitehall Police Department responded, with uniformed officers going to the scene of the robbery and plainclothes officers tracking the stolen vehicle using the GPS information provided by the business. The officers in unmarked cars tracked the stolen Porsche into the city of Columbus. Normally, when an officer chases an armed robbery suspect into another jurisdiction, they would notify the city to make sure the officers were aware of a dangerous situation brewing. Instead, the Whitehall Communications Center called the Columbus Police radio room stating, "They are tracking a stolen vehicle by GPS. My deputy chief says he does not want any Columbus police officers to go near that vehicle or pursue this at all because we are going out there." They did not let Columbus police know the vehicle was stolen during an armed robbery and that it was occupied by 3 armed suspects. This order came from Whitehall Deputy Chief Chad Wilder. At 4 p.m., the suspects traveled to a Fifth Third Bank on Hilliard Rome Road and committed an armed robbery, while Whitehall police officers sat in the parking lot watching their vehicle. The location of this robbery is a 45-minute drive from where the Whitehall officers began following the vehicle. It occurred almost 2 hours after the original robbery at the car dealership. The Whitehall police officers stated they had a plan to box in the suspects at the bank, but the suspects rammed their way past them. Here is the video of Whitehall officers attempting to box in the suspects. Does it look like they rammed their way out?
And at that point, we had decided that we were going to try to block the vehicle in and take it down.
Police! Hands up! Don't move! Don't move! Do not move!
Whitehall police tried to block in the stolen car.
Hands up! Put your hands up!
But the suspects rammed Sergeant John Earl's car and were able to take off.
103 rammed his way out. He's going out towards Hilliard Rome.
Whitehall Police Sergeant Jonathan Earl jumped in his vehicle and moved it out of their way, allowing the suspects to escape. He then later lied about it, saying the suspects rammed their way out. His actions and the subsequent lies are unacceptable. At this point, the Whitehall officers notified the city of Columbus that they were chasing 3 armed robbery suspects eastbound on Interstate 70. At 4:07 p.m., Columbus police officers joined on the pursuit on the freeway, and unbeknownst to them, the Porsche dealership was told to shut down the vehicle remotely. The Porsche came to an abrupt stop on the freeway and crashed into the right barrier, then bounced to the left lane where it came to rest with all airbags deployed. At 4:09 p.m., 2 of the suspects immediately fled and can be seen jumping over the wall to get off the freeway. An officer from the Columbus Division of Police gave chase, but was ambushed by the 3rd suspect who was hiding amongst the vehicles that were stopped on the freeway. He was shot and killed when the wounded officer and 7 of his friends returned fire. The wounded officer was struck in the lower body, and when he fell to the ground, several rounds went under his vest, into his torso, causing serious damage to multiple vital organs. He spent several weeks in the ICU before being transferred to a long-term care facility. He has since returned home, but not to work. His injuries were so significant that over the last 2 years, he's been rushed to the hospital multiple times. As stated in the lawsuit, this case arises out of the reckless failure of 5 Whitehall police officers to follow proper police tactics and department policy. In a stunning display of incompetence, the defendants allowed armed and dangerous suspects in their control to flee, endangering the public and officers from other agencies who would respond to assist.